have to do with the struggle for freedom for the people of Ambazonia, the Southern Cameroons. My role within the Organization of Emerging African States, or Organization of Emerging States, OAS, and my leadership in the Ebenezer Akwanga Human Rights and Humanitarian Institute. Many of our people who are involved in our struggle for freedom have this wrong notion that if you are not always on Facebook and talking, it means you've either abandoned the struggle or you are no longer involved. People want to see you do a lot of posturing, because this is what this struggle for freedom has been reduced to, posturing. People go out and write big grammars, others go out and say, there is just no way that we are going to get what we want to get if it is not this X person who is our leader and all whatnot. You see, in everything in human life, you must learn to strategize. If you are not able to know that at this particular stage, this particular strategy is no longer viable, it's not working, I need to change the strategy for the good, not just of myself, but for the good of those around me and the entire struggle, then you will never achieve anything in life. Even in private life, in our personal lives, you must be able to look at things and change. The way you were in your 20s, when you get to mid-20s is different. Getting to 30s is different. Mid-30s is different. 40s is different. That is how life is all about. So you have to re-strategize. You need to ask yourself, what is going to work? Not just for me, but for the people for whom I'm putting in so much human sacrifice for. That should be the pinnacle of human thinking. That is the way we should be able to reason when we are involved in a situation as critical and vital as the struggle for independence or freedom. There are a couple of things I want to say. That is why I said I will come online today. Today is the 31st of March, 2024. I was just reminded by the Chief of Staff of the African People's Liberation Movement that on the 24th of March, 1997, I was kidnapped in Jakiri alongside my dear brother of late, Julius Ngundi, who was also my confidant. What transpired between the 24th and the 29th of March remains unspeakable. I have said it time and time again. And for some people, they have used it as mockery. I said, this was the period where I was sexually molested by female gendarmes. This was the period where a gendarmerie officer from Balikumbat was so angry with me and any other person who was involved in the Southern Cameroon struggle. At that time, they would talk of SCNC, SCYL, and the rest. And scam. He was so angry that in order to satisfy his masters from La République du Cameroun, he imbued a type of punishment, wickedness on me, on my physical body. How I survived it, I can't tell up till date. I went through all types of stuffs. We know that men sexually harass women, molest women, but these were women molesting me, undress me, and use my penis as a game, fun for them. It was to make me, to reduce me to something worse than a lesser man. That is what they did to me. This is in 1997. So if Yaoundé can authorize gendarmes, women, to do that to me in 1997, what else do you expect years after that they will do to us as a people or to you as an individual when you dare rise up and say you want to challenge the status quo? What do you expect? 1997. I mean 24th of March to the 29th of March. I was locked up at Upstation in the gendarmerie at upstation. They took me from upstation. When they were taking us to Yaoundé, the path that they took, I literally died. I died in the Hilux Toyota where I was chained both hands and legs and my stomach was on the floor. This is March. Bear with me what I'm trying to say here. And how I survived, someone said it was a bottle of Tangi. These guys have refused me food and water. This wound I have here that many of you have seen is the butt of a gun. This has never ever been treated. No medication has ever been applied here. Nothing. But you see it is here with this lasting mark on me. This is La République du Cameroon. This was the butt of a gun. The gun they normally use, they call FAL, F-A-L. And it was an attempt to pull out my tooth. All my teeth, I beg your pardon. This was done in Jakiri. So during that time, I was locked up at upstation, where Blaise Pascal Tala was brought from Jeune Afrique Economie, who is no longer their head, is now back in La République and doing the normal dirty politics, selling the people. Blaise Pascal Tala flew in with Luc Loe from Yaoundé to come and see me, to take pictures, for them to go and write all types of crazy stuff online. This is 1997. When people get up today, they don't know how much blood people have spilled for this struggle. And some people think that one can just get up and just abandon the struggle like this because you are angry and frustrated. After all of this, you abandon it. You think of those who have died on the line of duty. You think of those who died with you in prison. Philip Tete, Ngek Simon Kui, Taneng Danen Difon, Patrick Yimbu. In fact, the case of you find people like Kang Zakaria and Difet, people who were killed in terrible circumstances. We were in prison with an octogenarian who was about 100 years old, Pa Salifu. Were there with Pa Salifu? It was a terrible situation. I mean, terrible. This is what they did to me in March. This same March that we have just got what we call the journey of the cross for those who are Christians. 24th of March to the 29th of March. Before I arrived Yaoundé on the 29th of March, in the breaking money and handed over to a Lokobi Njok, that some of you know. And then the torture took a different dimension. To me, as a physical man, I'm not God. I'm not like Jesus Christ, as Christians will hold it. What I went through was worse than the passion of the cross. You are all aware that I was in solitary confinement for 2 years, 24 months, that I was fed with human feces and urine for 14 days, 2 weeks. In solitary confinement, when Andrew Akonte and Reverend sisters and Reverend fathers were sent to come see me, they said, no, you can't see him. He's in solitary confinement. And during that period, I was chained both legs and hands. There was no phones. Cell phones was very expensive. You hardly put your hands on phones. Not to talk of Facebook and WhatsApp and all whatnot. Where today we have our brothers who are in prison. And they're even able to organize meetings with some of us outside here. They organize meetings. They talk to some of you people. We didn't have that opportunity. It wasn't there. During the time I was locked up in prison, that was the time, I can tell you the truth, that I became more closer to God. Very, very close to God and to my forefathers. I never knew the person I succeeded. But I thought I felt him. I felt his presence, both at Full Special Prison, Condé Maximum Security Prison, and the underground cell at the National Gendarmerie, what they call Brigade du Lac in Yaoundé. You are all aware of this story that some people have tried to mis-explain the particular story. That while I was in underground cell, I was kept for 29 days, chained, hands and legs, and put where the urinary was. That's why I was kept. I was separated from Pa, Tete, Philip, and all the others. They kept me away from the rest of the people. Because the French people were calling me le cerveau. That is the word they use in French, le cerveau. That this is the brain behind the Ambazonian struggle, the struggle for independence. So they need to separate me before we go to court, because I might be able to convince the others. They think that the others did not believe in the struggle. That all what they are doing is because of me having convinced them. Do you know what happened during that period? When these guys were planning to kill us, I took a cigarette packet, empty one that I discovered, and the seat of a pear. I scratched the seat of a pear on this corrugated floor underground cell, transformed that pear seat into a pen, and used the foil inside the cigarette paper and scribbled a letter to the United Nations. When you are in prison for your people, and you are able to go through this, your focus changes. In fact, you are prepared to die. But when you are in prison and you have a lot of freedom, and you begin to think that this temporal freedom you have is real freedom, you even lost sight of why you are in prison. You start causing chaos with those who are outside, and you transform yourself, and you think you are fighting the right fight. You start fighting the wrong fight. And even my own brothers who are outside, those who were with me in the SCYL, these were the first people who betrayed me like Judas. Because the moment I was arrested, a vast majority of the members of the Southern Cameroons Youth League, don't forget, there were people like K.I. Emmanuel Alembo, who did all the criminal things he did with Yaya Jammeh in the Gambia. Escaped from the Gambia, and I heard he's come back to the Gambia to represent La République du Cameroon. That is just a sad story. I don't want to talk about the poisoning in Nigeria and the rest with K.I. Emmanuel. There were also people like Ashunkem Charles and others. My own people in the same movement. I just want to tell you that if you're not ready to go through suffering and hardship for a cause, don't just venture into it. The SCYL members were the first to celebrate that have been arrested. Not just the rank and file. I'm talking of those who were in what we call the RECOCO, the Revolutionary High Command Council. They were saying that, yes, we are happy they have picked him up. He took this struggle like his personal thing. He was everything Ambazonia, everything Southern Cameroons. He was handling it as if it is his personal thing. If you don't handle this struggle as a personal stuff, what will motivate you to be involved in it? Just see the way our people don't appreciate anything. They insult you. No matter how much sacrifice you do, you give. They're only looking for flaws. They're looking for your errors, your weaknesses, which, of course, as humans, each of us have weaknesses. If it is not personal, what will motivate you to continue? Let's be serious. If there is anyone here who is in this struggle and it's not personal to you, tell me what actually is there for motivating you. What is keeping you up in the night and encouraging you to go on? What? You see this world, everything is vanity. The highest level of love I can give for a cause I am involved in and for the people that I say are my people is to sacrifice my own life and to be motivated in it. But how I carry myself, the way I approach it, is a matter not for the public. It's a matter not for the public. As a Christian, Jesus Christ has paid the ultimate price for what love is all about. Because you ask, what is love? What exactly is love? For someone no matter how people see it, to give his own life for sins he didn't commit, committed by others. To say, if I have a means to free you people, I will give my own life so that you can have your own life back. That is the highest level of love. And that is what we call the highest level of extremism. Dr. King, Martin Luther King, was not wrong when he said, I am an extremist for justice. So each one of you should ask yourself, what are you an extremist for? Being an extremist means you are at that particular part of a particular issue where you are prepared to lay down your own life for it. That is extremism. Not the type of extremism which Western governments like the United States, the UK, and others are describing other people who are fighting for their freedom, that they are extremists and they are terrorists and the rest. Ask yourself, who is an extremist? Are we going to refuse that Jesus Christ of Nazareth wasn't an extremist for love? When he will give his own life, sacrifice himself for things and crimes or sins he never committed. We are commemorating it up till now. That is the highest pinnacle of love. To put yourself on the firing line for others. Even when they spit at you, they insult you, they put a crown on you. Don't look at that physical crown. Look at the crown that our own people put on some of us. They get into our privacy. They insult us. They tell lies about us. They say all types of things. That is the crown we carry. That is the crown for love you have for your people. And you are not prepared to carry that crown. Don't get involved in trying to free your people. I'm a liberation theologist. When I look at the Bible, I see only freedom. I don't care how people interpret it. The first time I spoke with Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, who has been suffering in dungeon in Nigeria, I told him that, my brother, if you do not have a certain level of love for your people, do not get involved. Any other thing will be a total failure. Love, that you are prepared to risk your own life and to take some level of uncomfortability, should be what drives you going. If you don't have that, any other thing you are doing is a waste of time. You will go round and round and round and round and you will disappear. We are in this struggle. We are at this level. We have a lot of our brothers and sisters who will tell you that, oh, I am no longer involved because, oh, they did this to me, they did this to me, they did that. No. The moment you have engaged in war, war is never a good thing. There is no good war. No war is good. I don't care how you interpret it. The Israelis think they're fighting a good war against, in quote, Hamas. No. They're destroying their souls and destroying their consciences and showing exactly who they are. Despicable. Anyone who does that, that is who you are. That is exactly how La République du Cameroon is. And those who are persecuting Nnamdi Kanu are despicable. You can't persecute a people because they say we want to be free. We have all types of unnecessary wars in the continent of Arkebul and Africa because our own people have refused to sit with our own people to say what exactly is wrong. How can we make this work? Even when we say we need a united Africa, how is it going to work? When a lot of minorities, a lot of individual people from different constituencies are not feeling at home in whatever nation or country they find themselves. How is it going to work? It is not that we will not want a united and strong Africa where we bring all our resources together. No, it is that it will not work. Partly because we are individually so greedy and partly because we will open our flanks and allow the Europeans in particular, who wants to use us to keep us apart, to come into our middle and decide who will be our leader. No, I beg your pardon, who will be our rulers. Because these European countries, most of these Western countries don't want leaders in Africa. They want rulers. Because the moment there's a leader in Africa, they will cut you short. Patrice Lumumba, Thomas Sankara. Look at Faye. He has spoken so well in Senegal. But if he's going to be a leader for the Senegalese people and an inspiration for the African youth, for the children of Arkebulan, then he needs to have more than his presidential security. He needs God, and he needs his forefathers to be with him. Otherwise, I can tell you, 6 months will be too much for him on the hot seat in Dakar. That is the situation we find ourselves. You can't be fighting a liberation war when you are doing one and the same thing every now and then. And the enemy doesn't seem to feel the pinch of what you are doing. If you do not change strategy and technique, then the fault is yours. And that is where we are. That is where we are. We quarrel online, we compete with ourselves, and we don't even compete positively. We do negative competition. And we put ourselves in this situation which has never been helpful. Many of you have sent Happy Easter to others. What is the significance of Easter? Do you think Easter is signifying that a certain man died on the cross, on Calvary, that crowns were put on his head and Golgotha? Is that what it signifies? If this is the way you see it, then you will be that same Christian who don't understand that even Judaism is against Christianity. That Judaism do not believe in the existence of Jesus Christ as the Son of God. So when you go out and you support the barbarism that the state of Israel is doing to the Palestinian people in the name of being a Christian, I don't think you are reading the Bible. Then you have the real twisted version. Because most of what we have already is twisted. Then your own is super twisted. Then you don't understand anything. It is clearly written. It is there in the Torah. Judaism. Islam even recognizes Jesus. Judaism, no way. It doesn't. It doesn't. I'll be right back in 1 minute. Many of you will not know why I keep playing this music in many of the outings I do, because this music came out by Princess Njedika Okeke at a particular time when I have missed my second assassination attempt in Nigeria. I have said it here in the open. I've missed 5 assassinations. I don't know how many of you have missed one. 5 by the state of Cameroon. So when people were asking me that, why were you trying to meet with Cameroon? Do you trust these people? People who have struggled to kill you 5 times. And you have to trust them. No. Meeting with your enemy, with your foe, to find a means to resolve a bloody conflict, which was supposed to be avoided. A conflict that is killing your people. Further depersonalizing them, dehumanizing them. A conflict which is almost forgotten is the highest act of bravery. Meeting even with the same people who attempted to kill you while you were in exile in Nigeria. How do you call that? How do you call that? Friends do not make peace, my people. It is only enemies who make peace. People who don't agree especially on anything. They are the ones who come to the table to make peace, not friends. Friends don't need peace. They are already at peace. They're already at peace. And to you, my brothers and sisters, who have been called to serve the Lord as evangelists, apostles, pastors, and what have you, priests. You have been praying for so many years. A good number of you don't even understand why your prayers are not going anywhere. You don't get it. You do not get it. It is because most of you are not even convinced in the very prayers that you are making, especially for this struggle. You do not believe in that, in the very prayers you are making. You do not believe. It's the same question I asked myself a few days ago. I'm a Christian, but is there really life after death? Huh? Paul Biya is a Christian. Does he believe there's life after death? Then he's doing all of these things to my people. Hey, Ngongo is a Christian. Does he believe there is life after death? Then he's doing all of this to my people. So these are the questions you ask yourself. These are the questions that creates a whole shadow of doubts into my mind and the minds of so many people. Is there life after death? Because if there is life after death, then there should be punishment after death. Then hell exists. That these people really know there is hell. That hell actually exists. Then they are doing these things they are doing to our people. They are killing my people. They are raping them. They have destroyed and mortgaged the future of an entire generation. And then you still find other people, other humans who are siding with these people. It baffles me. I don't get it. My only comfort comes from the fact that Lucifer was part of the angels in heaven. He turned against God. He betrayed God. So having people who betray us, who turn against our struggle, should definitely not really frighten us or surprise us. It is the role they are playing. Someone said, without sin, there will be no forgiveness. That is true. If there is no sin, are we going to have forgiveness? There will be no reason for forgiveness. The only reason people seek forgiveness is because there is sin. If you don't have problems with somebody, are you going to tell the person, I'm sorry? No. Those words, those 5-letter words, sorry, that people have not been able to use, has caused so many death and destruction in this world. My people, this is me as you see me. Me, I'm a sinful man. Even if not being a Christian, I know how my life is. I'm a sinful man. Because I know I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect because the perception is that the very act of conception that got my mother pregnant is a sin. But it has to happen for me to be here. So that is the first line of imperfection. Then as a human being, if I think I'm perfect, then I don't need to talk about Jesus. I don't need to believe there is God. I need to see myself as God. That is the way it is. So that is why I say I'm not perfect. I might even have some flaws that I might not be able to see it. That is how it is. I'm not perfect. The world is the way we see it. The liberation struggle is the most difficult thing to achieve in the world. Political struggles are easy. Liberation struggle is very, very complicated because many people will read it differently. I no longer get into alliances for the purpose of perceptions, to satisfy the people that, oh, we have come together, I'm working with this, I'm doing this. No. Any alliance that will not be beneficial for the purpose for which I am getting into it, I won't settle for it. This life is very short. I want to make sure that I play my own role as an individual. That when my time to go comes, I will go and go peacefully. Whatever happens in the world beyond, I have no idea. I know very well that some of you will be invoking my spirit, because in Africa, people never rest in peace. Even though we always say rest in peace, we are the ones who pour libation. When we pour libation, what do? We are invoking the spirit of our people who have gone before us. Our forefathers, our fighters, and the rest. That's what we do. That's our culture. So there's no resting in peace. There's no resting in peace. Because even in their grave, we still want them to come and be with us. To stand side by side us. And to fulfill certain commitment that we are involved in. So we only transition to the next world where our spirit now start doing other part of the job that our physical body cannot do. That is human nature. So this is the problem. A war of attrition is the worst kind of war. A war of attrition. And what we are facing at this moment is a war of attrition. Because a war of attrition can take 70, 100 years. It hardly comes to an end. There is no end in sight in a war of attrition. There is no end in sight. When there is a hot war, it's different. When there is a cold war, it's different. But when there is a war of attrition, it's more dangerous. Because you don't know what is going to happen the next second. You don't know. And the reason we are here today is because people who are even closer to me, who are friends, refuse to listen to the advice I gave to them. Just for the simple fact that if I listen to Dr. Akwanga's advice, it will be like, oh, I'll be accepting that on this issue, he's an expert, he knows better than me. See, we are all suffering. We are all suffering now. We find ourselves in this war of attrition, where we are now accusing everybody as spies. Anyone who do not see with us, or who is maybe not happy with the way things are, we consider them spies. So if we have a means, we have the hammer and the law, I can't imagine how many people we are going to kill, how many will send to prison innocently. I can't imagine. Our attitude is one in which we are actually declaring that our brothers and sisters who are in prison should stay there forever. They should never come out. That's our attitude. No matter how pretentious we do it. Because if we actually think about them and we want them out, we will change our ways. Because that is what La Republic wants. That we should continue to act the way we are acting, not do the right thing, hit our soldiers, and do all crazy things. What we are doing, we are sentencing those men and women in prison to death. No longer just life imprisonment to death. That is what we are doing. All what we are doing is sentencing them to life imprisonment. That is death sentence. Because it is not giving them food, sending them money to eat and all whatnot. My brothers, my sisters, my children, my moms and dads. When you don't go prison, La Republic prison, you come out for day. Just know, say you go remain a prisoner for the rest of your life. If Albert Woman Mukong be alive today for Terrona, Mukong will be able to explain to you people what it means to be locked up in La Republic. When you come out, you will never be the same again. Forget about it. Forget what people are throwing out there. You see them at times on videos. You talk to some of these guys, you think they are good. No. Until you come out from that place. That is why even when Pam Mukong was paid 500 million CFA, his death was more closer to him than living. Because it is slow poison that you receive while you are in there. You are in there. You are dying gradually. Look at us. We fight over stuff we don't need to fight for. Now, when a group want to come out now, like this one they call the consultation network, if they want to set up something, the moment a group of people hear that, oh, the consultation network where you find chiefs and others working on, under the support of USIP, United States Institute for Peace, the moment they want to set up something, you know what is going to happen? A group of other people, Southern Cameroons Ambazonians, they will rush up and start another thing. Now, everybody is quiet. They're just waiting for somebody to do something. You see me now, I'm here, I'm trying to talk to you people. And I will make sure it is not as long as possible. The moment I finish, you find other Ambazonians that you have not seen online for long, they want to come now and put their faces. Not to add to what I'm saying, to come and throw insults and cause confusion. That is the way our people are. That is the way they are. I've told you people time and again that being as sinful as I am, after having gone all through what I went through from the 24th to the 29th of March 1997, sexually molested, no food, no water. I'm not a biologist, but I don't know how many days somebody can stay without drinking water, because I think I even beat that record. I'm not supposed to be in a Guinness Book of Record, because we Africans need to create our own book of record. Everything should not come from the other side. Solitary confinement and all whatnot. Why am I alive? Yimbum Patrick was sick for a very short time. He got a deflated stomach and died. Fai Lawrence Yaoundé, the same thing. Him even was buried at Soa in Yaoundé. That is one of the corpses that we need to exhume. That La République will provide his corpse, whether they like it or not. Look at all these people. Look at them. We come in, we bring some of you, our sisters, thinking that where there will be women, maybe peace will reign and things will settle down, and then good reasoning will come. But most of you, our sisters, came in and become worse than us, the men. You even become the instruments of destruction, of chaos. You become the ones who were propagating all types of madness. Akwanga is the king. Oh, Ako is king. Oh, Ayaba who is the emperor. Oh, it is Ayoku is supposed to be the prince of prince. Oh, it's supposed to be you ladies. I have been looking for means to say that the African women need to take leadership in the continent. But with what I have seen in this struggle, the only thing I cannot agree is that the woman's place is in the kitchen. No, I do not agree. But I think my sisters, my moms, a good number of you have done so much that has caused more strain in this struggle. So much. You have refused to act as mothers. Because every woman is a mother, whether you have delivered a child or not. Only a woman knows the pain of childbirth. It's easy to impregnate a woman, but what a woman goes through 9 months, that 9 months is almost like a period where you are between purgatory and paradise. So you will expect that women will understand the pain of children, of other girls who are being raped, of moms and dads who are suffering. That has not been the case. Our women have developed an unnecessary sharp mouth, worse than that of the citizens of La République du Cameroon. Our women have become so dangerous that when you find our men who are bought into this yahoo stuff, our women are involved 100%. You don't give good advice. You are instead helping us to go astray. You give us praises when we don't deserve them. And when we deserve the praises, you don't give it to us. Haven't you felt the pain of childbirth? My sisters, my moms, my daughters. Were you not the ones who were supposed to put us on the direct path to reject any one of us that you think is so cursed that there is no amount of libation that can purify that person? Are you not the ones? What have you guys done? Some of you took your beauty into the struggle. Oh yes. One of the most beautiful women are Ambazonian women, physically. You took your beauty to destroy the struggle. You don't use it for the benefit of the struggle. I'm saying that you use your beauty to cause chaos, insults. See where we are. See where we are. And that is why I said the other time that we are a cursed people. So as we are struggling, one of the prayers that I want the apostles, the pastors, the evangelists, the priests, the real men and women of God to do is to first pray for the Almighty God, for Jehovah Elohim, for Yahweh Sabaoth, to break that curse that is upon our people. I don't know whether it is coming from the Funchas and the Munas. This is the part I don't know where that curse is coming from. But anyone who thinks there is not a curse upon our people, then you are deceiving yourself. Because it's not La Republic that is holding us from being free. No, it is us. It's us. We have our brothers on the ground that some of our brothers out here have transformed them to become Sam Bokari and Fode Sanko. We summarily execute people with any cause of accusation. We put them in public, we shoot them. And then when we do that, we think that their family, anyone who is aligned to that family, a brother or friend, will willingly, willfully continue to support the struggle. They will not turn against us and become the most dangerous set of people among us. That is what we do. And we call that liberation. We talk big. We get into alliances and make rhetorics that we don't even understand the implication of these things. Then the worst of all, some of you are brothers and sisters, you have become so angry that you leave the struggle away. Have you sat for 1 second, those of you in Belgium in particular, and those of you in South Africa, especially you, my brothers and sisters from the Pinyin tribe? Because I can't tell you people how much destruction you have done in this struggle, those of you in South Africa. I don't want to call your names, but you know I can't do that. I want you people to sit and individually examine yourself. Some of you are still doing it up to today. You sit and you point fingers at others. Look at what they have done. See the way we transform Pinyin, Santa, and the rest. We have finally handed it not just to La République du Cameroun, but to bandits, to rogues, to criminals, not to liberationists. Because you became so tribalistic that you only want a Pinyin child with no knowledge of liberation struggle to handle these things. I told you people in the IG, being a veteran from the US Army, being a veteran from UK military, being a veteran in the Marine, being even an active Marine or Air Force in the United States, does not give you the total know-how on guerrilla warfare. You have a lot of add-on how you can advise the boys on the ground on certain things. But when it comes to guerrilla warfare, that is not your fief. You have no knowledge about it. And that is why the United States couldn't win in Afghanistan, because it's guerrilla warfare. That is why they haven't won in Iraq, because it's guerrilla warfare. That is why everywhere the West have gone, even in Vietnam, guerrilla warfare is what has won the day. Guerrilla warfare is not what is trained in school. You learn it, you practice it. When I started working on my second doctorate at the University of Birmingham, my thesis was supposed to be on guerrilla warfare mentality. And they asked me, why did you choose this particular topic? Guerrilla warfare mentality. My eyes was on the ball. The Ambazonian struggle. The Southern Cameroons struggle. Because I saw it coming. Even when you people rejected us and gave us names, I saw it coming. We are where we are today because of us, not because of the strength of La République du Cameroon. And we will remain in this particular position or even go worse than this, which will cause more harm, more suffering, more persecution of our people if we do not change course. Mark my word. Mark every word that I'm saying. I'm saying it in public. I have not said La République will win. No, they can't win a war of attrition. They can't. That is the biggest mistake La République is doing. Just of recent, they sent in some 2 guys from Diongute's office to the United States. Do you know why they were here? They came here, went to the State Department to give 20 names of Ambazonians, Southern Cameroonians in the US, that the US government should arrest them. Some of you know those people who went there to do that. 20 names. They went to give those names. These are a people who are not willing to settle to resolve a conflict. Not because they think the conflict should not be resolved, but because they don't see our humanity. They do not see it. They do not see our humanity for 1 second. I got so angry the other day online, and I said, I am not just angry with Netanyahu and his hawks in Israel. I am angry because of what Israelis, retired generals, have employed the Biya regime to do to our people. If you don't know, go online and find out who trained Biya special military. Who trained them? Both B and his presidential guard were Israelis. When the other one died, another one was recruited. So, part of the blame for the murder of our people, the killing of our people, go to the state of Israel. I will not put it on every Jew. I'll put it on these people who studied military warfare, decided because of money, they will take money from anybody. If Jean-Bende Bokassa was alive today, there will be retired members of the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, who would prefer to take money from Bokassa to train his forces to continue to persecute the people of Central Africa. When I say this, somebody will say, oh, that is anti-Semitic. I don't give a damn. Which one is, when are we going to have an anti-slavery, how do I call it? An anti-slavery slap. When are we going to get that? That when people continue to demean us, we're going to say that, oh, you are promoting slave trade for what they did to us, which we are still suffering up to date. Many people don't know. When they say, oh, Africa, Africa, yes, we have rulers in the continent, not leaders. And the reason we have rulers is as a result of the continuation of the slave trade. What the transatlantic slave trade did to our people cannot be wiped overnight. Go and look at it from every angle. That is why these people continue to treat us this way. That is why they do what they are doing. So in the continent of Africa, if we are going to reject the United States, we'll reject French control, British domination, we should not be able to welcome Chinese or Russian or any other. They are all the same people. Don't deceive yourself because you see the war in Ukraine. No, these are the same people. They are the same people. So you can't be replacing one with another. I am 100% with my brother in Burkina Faso. But on this issue, I will never agree with him. These are the same people. Okay? It is like one man trying to kick out the other person so that they get into the real business with you. This is who they are. Africa must be for Africans. That any dealing we have with the Europeans must be one on equal parity. If not, it must not continue. It must not continue. It must not. And we have to change ways, just like in this struggle. Why can't we have our own Facebook? Even though I'm happy that Facebook, Zuckerberg and his friend created this. Why can't we have one? Why can't we have WhatsApp? Why can't we have our own TikTok? Why can't we have this? We create a lot of things. Fiber optic. which is helping us today around the world, wasn't a Ghanaian part of the person who created it. But let me tell you why. With the present situation of the way things are, if a Nigerian creates a Facebook that is workable, Ghanaians will reject it. Even people from Cameroon and Ambazonia will reject it. A good number of Africans, even in South Africa, will reject it. Because that is the way we are. We are cursed, twisted. We do not support one another. We are good in fighting one another. You create a WhatsApp. Oh no, it will not work. Our own people will destroy it. Let a Chinese come and want to sell puff-puff in front of your door. You will give them space and even make sure you help them to learn how to do that puff-puff. When it's somebody else, you call them come no go. That is who we are. From Kenya to Tanzania. Tanzania to Ethiopia. Ethiopia to Morocco. Even the Moroccans are not even believing that they're Africans. At one time, they want to join the European Union. Then how many of our people have been slaughtered by them? The Moroccans, the Algerians, the Tunisians. How many of our sisters have been raped? Because we have rulers, not leaders, who have messed up where they are coming from, especially in West Africa. So they don't even hold meetings to say, how do we find a means to make sure that we don't have this exodus of our dynamic young population? No, they are happy. Because the more the younger population are there, the more it becomes difficult for them to steal because the population will turn against them. So they are happy that our brothers and sisters can die in the Mediterranean. They are happy for our sisters who are gang raped by these imbeciles, these inhumans, who are supposed to be our own brothers, who have failed to become their brothers' keepers, gang raped. Go to the streets of Algeria. I have one or two who called me and said, Daddy, if I tell you what they did, in fact, I don't need to tell you because what you are telling me seems as if you were there with me. These are the difficulties we have. That is why, instead of us turning to South Africa, Kenya, Tanzania, Ghana, instead of us turning to the Gambia, Senegal, to assist us, where do we go to? We are rushing to US Senate, US Congress, House of Lords or House of Commons in the UK, European Parliament. We can't go to Addis Ababa where there's African Union. It's to tell you how cursed, how dangerous the situation is. That is where, as children of Arkebulan, we're supposed to be rushing to. Can we go there? Can we take our problem? Can the Biafrans take their problem? Can the people of Ntuakazi take their problem to the African Union? Can you do that? Can you go to Addis Ababa and march with a flag in front of the African Union? Can you do that? Who will listen to you? We've created this club of crooks, robbers, state piffiters, pillagers, plunderers. That is what we have created in the African Union. When I say disband the African Union and let's create something new, they say, oh, doctor, you are too radical. Jesus Christ was radical. Muhammad was radical. Baha'u'llah was radical. Confucius was radical. Without a level of radicalism, I mean extreme radicalism, you can't succeed in anything good in this world. You can't succeed. You see, Senegal, it is a typical example of an example that to make gold, it must pass through fire. The person who is president had to go to prison to become president. Sonko himself, who is like his mentor, went to prison. They both came out at the same time. So things don't just happen like that in the metaphysical world. You go to prison, and that prison clears the way for you to become president. As bad as it is. We do not want wars in the continent as a result of elections. But when we do not have elections, but we have referendums, where individuals who are in power want to crown another individual, or they want to stay there in perpetuity, what do you expect? Is it not like telling the people to go to the streets? Is that what we want? How many of our people in Africa, in different countries, have been able to rise up, to speak up openly against the suffering of the people of Ambazonia? In Ghana, apart from the former president, my uncle, Jerry John Rawlings, who else has spoken? How many former presidents are in Ghana? In Liberia, where we even have a former president, a woman, a woman who understands childbirth, has she been able to stand and speak openly to the hearing of everybody, condemning the killing, the raping, the dehumanization of the people of Ambazonia? Have you heard that? Ellen Johnson Sally, have you heard that from her? I'm talking of former presidents. Keep aside those who are in power. Go to South Africa. I went to the Thabo Mbeki Foundation. I was sent to Thabo Mbeki Foundation by President Rawlings. He did the contacts. After my meeting with him, I went there. President Mbeki had just traveled. He was going to Addis Ababa. But at that time, he was still in transit. He was in transit. And they got back to me that, oh no, the Mbeki team said, let me talk with the executive director there. And they told me about this thing they call quiet diplomacy. I even let them, Mbeki wrote to Bia. Bia never replied him. Because they are using the wrong method to deal with a murderer. They are using the wrong method to deal with someone who is a Republican, who says that he is now a king. They are dealing with someone who do not consider that the people he's holding in captivity are equal to a people. To Bia, I don't know whether we are 1/3, 2/5, or 3/4. I don't know which we are, because we are not whole. We are not human enough to them. So I don't know where we fall to him. This is the problem we have. This is the problem. So some of you say, oh, doctor, you are not coming online. You are not doing this. I have stayed behind, working for the struggle and doing humanitarian work. Because the only thing that can give me peace, oh God, I wish I was doing this directly in my homeland of Ambazonia. But what is home? Home is where you feel comfortable. Doing all of this work in Ghana, trying to make myself be human so that I can focus well in the bigger picture. And someone say, oh, doctor, you are not. I said, no. Even when we leave you people the space, you still don't want to occupy it. When we come in to occupy the space, you still don't want to work with us to finish the work. How are you going to solve this problem? How do you solve it? War of attrition. War of attrition. Some of you came here in the United States, got political asylum using this struggle. How many times have you traveled back to the Southern Cameroons, bought land you are building in Victoria, which is now almost a city owned by Bassa people? You've bought land in Down Beach. Know that everything that you have invested in is as a result of the blood of the people whose names you used to have political asylum. How much have you invested in the struggle? But you can fly down to homeland. You don't talk to anybody. This is me sitting here. Most of you know how many people came with me from Nigeria to this country. All of them who came with me came because of the struggle. Are they there? Even some who told me we are not in that their struggle. I only saw them when they were going to New York because they thought it was a bigger area where they can go there and demonstrate and take pictures and videos. After that, the struggle is over. How many? How many of you have carried today your Bible and you were singing praises? He's alive, amen, he's alive. Jesus is alive, forever he's alive, amen, he's alive, amen. This is what we used to sing from 4:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. when I was in Bolifamba, my 16. Early in the morning, we'll be rushing around the whole town to get the people up. Jesus is alive. We were looking at the cross, not looking at the love of Jesus. And that is the same way we have turned Christendom today. Especially those of us in Africa. Back home. We become enemies to ourselves. We are good in singing. We take the Bible. I don't know how we read it. Everything that we say is twisted. There are others who have what they call prosperity sermons. Every day is prosperity. People fall for it. Some have decided to go see Mami Wata, so they have white handkerchief. When they are singing in their churches, if you don't have a white handkerchief, you cannot be there. They use it to wipe their sweat and the rest. You ask them that, what is the purpose of that white handkerchief? What part of the functionality is it? Everything is in the Bible. False prophets. They prophesy. It doesn't happen. They change their tongue. Some of us are even ready to die for our apostles and our evangelists. To die for the people we call, hey, that's our father. Their pastors and their priests have become their father. In quotes. Than to die for their own children. For their own relatives. For their own brothers and sisters. For their own people in their own homeland. So what do you people want me to do? I bring the expertise, you turn elsewhere. When it doesn't work there, you come back and say, Dr. Akwanga, leave me in peace, you not leave me in peace. I even say, let me do the job behind, it becomes a problem. What do you people want me to do? I'm not Jesus, oh. I'm God. No. Muhammad, no. I'm not a prophet. I'm not even an apostle. I am just a Ebenezer. And that is why I keep saying that maybe I do these things, receive the insults, the attack. Maybe I continue to do this because of this name my parents gave to me. Ebenezer, the stone. And when you come to the New Testament, the Ebenezer in the New Testament is Jesus Christ. But that doesn't make me Jesus Christ. You know the famous song Ebenezer? Ebenezer, yeah, Ebenezer, yeah. Ebenezer, yeah, Ebenezer, yeah. You go online, you read it. You get the song there. It's the name that was given. Maybe it has an impact. As they used to say, be careful with the names you give to your children. Because it might have an impact on the way they carry their lives. And that is why in Africa today, most of us used to say, maybe we should be giving our children our traditional names all. Because there we know the meaning of those names. And you can't give your son or your daughter any type of a name. If my name was just Mbongo Muluta, the Bakuri people will be able to define that. Or Teba, Akwanga. The Bichati people can identify with that. Because you can't go and give your son a name or your daughter a name that signifies madness, that signifies murderer, that signifies thief. No. That can't work. So my people, I came here today to let you people know that not being online doesn't mean we don't work for the struggle. But equally to let you know that those of you who think you can just give up the struggle because you are so angry, no, you are giving up your life. You're giving up your life. I understand that many things have not gone the way they were supposed to go. I equally know that this is war. But as a leader, I think that other leaders were supposed to have learned from the mistakes others have done in their own situations like where we find ourselves today. That we cannot be Fode Sanko or Sambukari and think that we are going to achieve anything. We will achieve nothing. We will not. And we should also know that the people who go on there, who betray our people, who carry them to DDR, those who are in DDR and the rest, they should know they are not the first to do this type of things. That others have done it before them. But what I want them to know is, you are there in DDR. You are convincing somebody to go to DDR. Ask yourself the simple question. Have you tried to watch what others have done before in decades past and see what their end was because of the things they did which you are doing today. Do you think temporal comfortability is better than long-lasting peace and prosperity, freedom, justice, and equality for everyone? Those are questions you need to ask yourself. Life is too short. My people, life is too short. How you live your life and how the end will be matters. I know for me that the greatest sacrifice a man can do is the sacrifice of being your neighbor's keeper. Life is too short. Kobe Bryant left one day with the daughter thinking he was going for a basketball training. He never came back. All the wealth that he worked, every money he kept, someone else is enjoying it. Everything he had, all the trophies he won, someone else is enjoying it. Vanity. Herbert Wigwe did not go to Abidjan to watch his country play the finals of the Nations Cup. He left to the UK and UK to the United States. A trip he would have taken by car, he preferred to go by air. He has constructed a 10 billion naira house at Ikoyi. I stayed at Ikoyi at an uncompleted building. I stayed there with most of the people I brought here, with my two daughters at Ikoyi. I stayed there as a refugee, so I know what refugees are going through. What happened to Herbert Wigwe? A $10 billion house, 10 billion naira, or whatever. He hasn't even lived there with all the wealth he left. The other British billionaires, there were 3 of them. They said they want to create history by going under the water with a sonar to see where the Titanic settled. Almost around Newfoundland, somewhere up there around Canada. They never came back. So even their corpses were not given the traditional burial based by their people. But if any one of these people, through their actions, have touched lives in their community, have acted honorably, not being sinless, that is what they will be remembered forever. That is what they will be remembered forever. That is how the world is. And this is what I've told everybody. The day I die, I go with my PhD, take my master's degree, my bachelor's, my associate. They can't transfer it to any of my relatives. When you know that in life, you be careful. You go with everything. What happens in the world beyond? Maybe only Paul Biya, Bokassa, and people like him knows. And maybe that is why they are so wicked. That is the only thing I can say. Because we don't know. But you will go and go forever. The moment you are buried is over. People were shouting, Herbert Wigwe, you go everywhere. The moment the son and the wife were buried, very little is spoken about them online. This is technically the owner of Absa Bank. Access Bank. With all the wealth. He's gone. Oh. He's finished. Mandela did not own much as Herbert Wigwe. But people still talk about Mandela. They talk about Walter Sisulu. They talk even about Umnyobe of La République. They talk about Ernest Owanji. How many do talk about Amadou Babatura Ijo? How many talk about Musa Yaya Saki Fada? How many? How many call these people? Who talk about Foshive, Jean Foshive? That is how the world is. If something is not so bad, who is going to recall Idi Amin Dada, Jean Bede Bokassa, Mobutu Sese Seko Kukumbende Wasabanga? Who will talk about these people? Or Samora, or the other one they call Mengistu Haile Mariam. Nobody, in fact, there are children today who are in school who don't even know whether these people ever existed. But these were head of states. They were rulers. Mohamed Siad Barre. No. Just as they are going to forget this other man who persecuted the people of Sudan for more than 25 years. We don't learn our lessons. We do not. We do not. These evil people go with their evilness. So sacrificing for freedom doesn't make you a murderer. And should not transform you to a criminal. I have always used myself as an example. That when I was in high school, in fact, I was so involved, first in secondary school, I was so involved with the Voice of America fan club. I was doing the bidding for the US government without any salary. So much so that I didn't pay too much attention on my O-levels. So I repeated my O-levels. The first year, I had 3 papers, 3 A's. I couldn't have a C to even have a 4 papers pass. No, I failed. Me. I'm not ashamed to say that. But do you know what happened? My readmission into government high school Victoria was done by the principal, Dr. Anthony Ndimbongwi. Because I was just so good in the things I was doing in school. I was just so good in the way I carry myself. That though in secondary school, I could invite a US diploma and bring that diploma to Victoria, who was welcomed by the senior divisional officer for FACO, Cosmos Ivan Golendele, welcomed by the mayor at that time. I could do those things. A diploma. I took myself with my school uniform to go talk to the diploma. Not only about the importance of freedom, but about the Southern Cameroons. This is in the 80s, 88, 89. Not today. When you see Ambazonia, you think it started or Southern Cameroons. No. My father had a 4-battery transition radio. Before I get up in the morning, I was in Kandis Kumunya. 4 batteries. Voice of America, Nightline Africa, Daybreak Africa, Music Time in Africa, Sound of Music, Sound of Soul. I will listen. It changed my mentality on what freedom was. I started fighting for freedom in primary school. Kandis Kumunya. Where they even punished me and suspended me until the Catholic parish priest intervened on my behalf. The priest. The priest. I'm in primary school. Ask anybody who knows me in Kandis Kumunya, they will tell you. Where I used to play football, I was one of the best footballers in the school team. I would serve mass, and then I go to YP, Young Presbyterian. Because if I don't serve mass, I was a mass boy for the Catholic, though I was not a Catholic. On Thursdays, we must have mass. I go for mass services. I serve mass. So that they mark my name present. On Sunday, I will go to the church, Catholic church, before I go to the Presbyterian church. So, I've gone through all of these things. After failing the GC O-level the first time, the principal said, you are not going anywhere. He forced me and they wrote my readmission into GHS. The rest of the story is different. You ask, they will tell you. These Southern Cameroons you hear, go talk to Photo John Bosco, who is in France. Or you talk to Adjunct Divine. They will tell you, there are a lot of them. Some were senior students to me. They know. So why am I saying this? I was so involved in anti-democratic demonstrations and activities in such a way that everyone knew that I'm going to fail the advanced level. And the only thing that La République was telling the other students was that, don't follow Akwanga. He has not prepared for the GCE. He's going to fail. That is why he's doing all of these things. Before they created University of Boya, I was there. I was still a student. When university students were demonstrating, they invited me. When Senfo Tokam and the others were in Yaoundé, they started demonstration. They sent me a letter, which I left school. I came and found it under my Karabot building. Beside the market, New Town, in Victoria. That was the letter that made me to organize the demonstrations I organized on Friday, the 12th of April, 1999. I mean, 1991. Friday, the 12th of April. Because of the letter that Senfo Tokam and his team have sent to me. I don't know them. I was still in high school. But they knew me because of the things I was doing. And that is why I was able to go to Bishop Rogan, go to Sase, and make sure there was no May 20th. You are rejecting May 20th today. I rejected it long time ago. I said there will be no May 20th. I went to Balingwa Grammar School, Moliko, which is my former school, and make sure no May 20th. Go and check the records. They will tell you. I went to Queen of the Rosary College, Okoyo, Seka Baptist. I was not doing this in hiding. I did it in the open. When the UN flag was brought by Muna, Foncha, and the others, and they say it was given to the UN, that flag became my personal possession. I will host it anywhere, even in Mutengene in broad daylight where there were meetings. The police and gendarmes, everybody thought I was mad. Why is this guy so bold to do this? They were arresting people. Nobody could arrest me. Because I have a mission from God. And until that mission is completed, I'm not going anywhere. If the Lord decides that my end is today, I will know that, therefore, I've ended that mission and he's passing the baton to someone else. So upon all the demonstrations I got involved in, upon all the anti-democratic things that I was involved in, upon all my crusade for freedom, for justice, for equality, I still passed the advanced level. And a vast majority of the students who did not want to join any of the things we were doing, they failed. They failed. They failed the advanced level. That is how the world is. I went to the University of Boya, fought for the university system to be open for every intelligent child of the common man. And I paid the price for it. They didn't only dismiss me, they poisoned me. I was bedridden for 8 months. And during the period I was bedridden, they killed my vice president, Valentine Are. Ebai Valentine was killed. Because they had warned him and all other members who were of my executive, the student union executive, not to visit me. When you hear today the talk of UPSU, University of Boya Students Union, I created it. When we were struggling between the name Busu and UPSU, I created it. I sacrificed my own education so that many of you can go to school and have the education you deserve. But what are you willing to sacrifice for the young boys and girls who are coming behind you? What are you willing to sacrifice as a student of University of Bamenda or Boya or elsewhere? How much are you willing to pay so that the next generation can study in a better, in a more conducive, peaceful atmosphere, in a free country of their own? How many of you are willing to sacrifice that? Life is too short. Extremely short. This I can assure you. When you talk about freedom, no matter how radical it was, you will always think of Albert Woma Mukom. But do you know how many Southern Cameroonians who were well placed politically that you can't remember them and even talk about them? Because they were more involved in the normal political stuff, which is an act of greediness. You should be able to find a cause worthy to die for. The Presbyterian Church abandoned me, betrayed me, persecuted me. But I don't see that as just the church. I see it as the leadership of the church at that time. Henry Anye Awaso, Nyamsaku Ninko, These are the two people who sold themselves to the devil. That is one way. Others keeps telling me that, oh no, maybe God used them. Or is it the devil to make sure you don't go there because the place is so tainted? God wanted you to take this other path. They betrayed me. I've told you people openly that I had a trance. When the heavens opened above the Full Gospel Church in my 16, just closer to where I was living. And God spoke to me. I was sitting, and Christopher Batango from Munye was standing beside me. He did not even know what was happening. It happened within seconds. He himself was lost. And God spoke to me, and I saw a handwriting on the wall, where God was telling me, at the end of the day, I will send you to prison, but I will bring you back. I tried to ask Prophet Deb Atabong. Some people know him. I went to the Archbishop, the bishop who was in Boya at that time. I reached out to a lot of people. It's the bishop who told me that, no, God has spoken to you. He will tell you exactly the meaning of what he has said. Don't discuss it with other people. Let him come to you at the apportioned time. God talking to me. A man that I know I was involved in so many things. So many stuff that other young men were doing that was not acts of righteousness. Because God decides on who to talk to and who to work with. So even you are out there, you are a sister, and you've lived a life of survivor through prostitution, don't give up. Your life is not over. That is the way that you were called upon to transform your life to become something better. If you are a brother there, you've been involved in armed robbery, in yawo, and all what type of stuff, which has not been healthy, don't give up. As long as you have been able to recognize, hey, this is not my path. I found my path. Take that new path and stick to it. Stick to that new path. You and me will talk about Che Guevara, but there are lots of other people who won't talk about. Because he was a liberationist who stood and died for his ideals. That is who we are. That is our purpose on earth. Our purpose on earth is to make sure our neighbors are happy. Because the happiness of our neighbor makes us happy. That is our purpose on earth. You might disagree with me, but that is the way I see it. And that is what keeps me going. I have nothing. My family is suffering immensely. But we are still able to find a means to collect humanitarian items trusted by viable, reputable Christian organizations. We are able to donate medical facilities, medical beds, I beg your pardon, medical supplies, donate a lot of books, computers, and other things to people who don't know us, who don't even know where we come from, who don't even know or have an understanding of the suffering of our people and ourselves. We do not choose whether you are Catholic, you are Baptist, you are Pentecostal, you are Methodist or Lutheran. To us, everyone we see is a stock of the common humanity. Muslim, Christian, Hindu, Buddhist, as long as you are willing to accept other human beings as you, they are the same. Those who practice racism, how many racist men have two pennies, two noses, two mouths, two eyes, when they think they are better than us? Show me one. Not even Donald Trump. There is no racist woman that have 4 breasts unless it's an abnormal where they need to take her to the hospital to operate her. Show me any human being on earth, from the president of Ukraine to the president of Russia, tell me which of them has 10 hands to make them super person. We are all the same. We are all the same. So wherever we come from, Maybe the reason why we have differences in our skin color and the way we talk and our faces, I don't want to look at it based on the food we eat and the geographic region and the rest, is to make sure that we can differentiate one another. So that maybe the men can easily marry those they have to marry, you know where they're coming from. We are one. That is who we are. The oneness of mankind. The oneness of humanity. That should be our core. If we want to free our homeland, we must do the work that is needed out of public view. And let our actions, let the people know what our words were when we met behind the scene, or when we planned behind the scene, when we strategized behind the scene, when we set up the technicality of the war effort behind the scene. However, if we want to continue in this public gallery, where we have apostles and disciples who would throw praises upon us, we set up online TVs where we don't use it for the benefit of the struggle, but to bring down one another, then we should go on. And rest assured, 75 years will even be small. This struggle is not going anywhere. And at that time, I will only weep wherever I will be for my people. I weep for them. Because that is it. You can't find everyone who will be on that struggle. But when you are involved, just do what is needed. There are things you need to do without talking. There are things you need to act without claiming responsibility. That even with all the major technology that we have now in our time, we still make the errors that we are supposed to avoid. It's not good. It's not good at all. This struggle is not going anywhere if you think you can relax behind and leave it to a few individuals to carry it. It's not going anywhere. You might have gained your asylum, brought your family from back home, constructed 3 or 4 houses, put even the ones that student residential quarters. You are banking monies and doing everything. 1 second, you are gone. 1 second, you are gone. Others will enjoy it. You see, I don't remember Pa Mukong because he bought me a plane, a car, or paid my fees. I remember him because I knew he stood for something greater than him. And when you stand for something greater than you, you should never lose sight or be afraid. Finally, I want to address one last thing. I've been to Nigeria. I've met different segments of the Biafran struggle. And I want to let you know that, as I said it there, and I'm saying it here, people might not believe it. Because of the common boundary that we have, the reason why the greater world community is reacting to the Southern Cameroon struggle the way they are reacting is because of their fear for the struggle for the emancipation of Biafra. That's a common boundary. Unfortunately, they cannot transfer our boundaries. We are bound to be where we are. And I even said that the advantage we have, which has not been used, is that we don't only have one of the most porous and longest boundaries, and that we are almost technically one people, is that we haven't used the advantages to our benefit. We have decided instead to go into the field of empty rhetorics and propaganda. It hasn't served the Biafran people. It hasn't served the Ambazonian struggle. You might doubt it. You might debate it. You might argue it. But For one of these struggles to succeed, the other one must impactfully put its hand on the other. Not by talking, not by some showmanism, but real work behind the scene. If people who fight for freedom, if Pan-Africanists cannot come together, there will never be Pan-Africanism that will strive in the continent of Al-Kebula, Africa. It is the same thing like this struggle. And what is happening to us, as much as things have happened to different struggles, ours came so soon and cost 80% by us. Not the enemy. Caused by us. We are responsible. We have seen that in the APLM. Even in our own movement. Where individuals will go and tell lies for things they don't know. Things that were not there. They will go out to create their own organizations, which does not technically exist. And they will kill the flame of the struggle. See how our brothers and sisters have killed the struggle technically in South Africa. It reached a level where they are even afraid to assemble to come together. They enter into the issue of poisoning one another. Killing our brothers and sisters there. When it was supposed to be a bastion for the struggle. If we want our forefathers to help us, if we want our foremothers to help us, if we want the Almighty God to be with us, if we want that when we pour our libation, it is true libation, as J.J. Rowling said, that he would prefer that the courts should not swear on the Quran and the Bible. They should swear on African tradition, where the result is instant. When you say, I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. The moment you open your mouth to lie, you fall and you are dead. That is what Rowling said. That if that is what we do, there will be true justice in Africa. You will not have false witnesses and all the rest. Even judges themselves will be scared. You set a jury system, they will go there to do their job, not to play games. So if we want to pour libation and make sure that libation is taken seriously, and that we can call upon our foreparents to come to our aid, we must change course. And to the prayer warriors, it is not how much you pray. It is not how long you pray. It is not how long the fasting is. It is how dedicated that prayer, how truthful your heart is on the issues you are praying for. Otherwise, it's an act in futility. Jesus Christ was the greatest extremist. He was a liberator. And that is why the Romans killed him. To the Romans, he was coming to liberate the Jewish people who was under Roman domination. So look at it from different angle. That is the angle many people try to run away from. That is who he was. The first liberator in modern times that have lived is Jesus Christ of Nazareth. He came to free his people. Not just the Jews who rejected him. And said, who do you think you are? We know you, we know your father. The Jews who sold him, who betrayed him. As we have Pharisees and Sadducees that have filled our continent today. You go to Ghana, go to Nigeria, go to Southern Cameroons, go to La République du Cameroon. One church is here, another church is this way, another church is this way. These are using megaphone, these are using bell, these are using flute. There is total chaos. In fact, they have transformed God into a God of chaos. That is why he no longer listens to us. He's just watching. He hasn't removed his hands entirely from us, but he's watching. You are my people, but let me watch what you want to achieve. That is what he's doing. He's watching. He's watching. We've created governments. We took our eyes off the ball, which is freeing the homeland and the people. We create organizations not to use them to better the struggle, to use them to fight one another. This is our own portion, so that when the time comes for negotiation, we too will go to the table so that we can achieve something. You don't work like that. You don't. If the situation in Senegal was given to us, we will flop. I know us. Because everybody will want to be there. It will not be Sanko and Fai. It will be everybody who will say, I want to be there too. That is who we are. That is what we have become. And that is why I said, why I know La République is partly responsible for this mindset that they have given to you, our people. I think we are partly responsible. You see, in this struggle, I don't have enemies. When I say my things, I've said it. I don't have enemies. I'm a very small man. My heart is too small. I don't have space to keep people in my heart that I'm angry with them. If it doesn't work, I go my way. There are people here that I know that I don't trust them. Nothing can make me to trust them. But at times, I'll say, let me see where they are going. I will move towards to see whether I can work with them. But there are some that has reached a level where you say, no, for me to collaborate with this person, no, let this person just go and free homeland, then I will come like others and give applause. If today you say Christ is risen, why you have abandoned your people in the middle of the sea, you have turned against your neighbor, you have ill-mouthed your brother or sister in this struggle without any evidence, you have even planted negative stuff against your brother or sister, your mother, your father in this struggle. If any of you have done that, and you don't pray this night and ask for forgiveness from our foreparents and from Allah or God, however you call him, then you have just shortened your life here on earth. We have to be careful. All we have is this air we breathe. The only thing that Biya has not been able to take from us, package it and try to sell it back to us. Because if he had means, that's what he would have done. He would have made sure that every Ambazonian who is breathing, they take the air that you are breathing, they package it somewhere, and then he try to sell it back to us. If you can't buy yours, you die. That is the only thing Biya has not done, to take that air away from us. I've seen my brother Selo Chama Pizzo from South Africa who has just joined. This is a South African. A dedicated South African from the ANC, but a dedicated Ambazonian of the APLM. He's not a boy, he's a man. Who took us to parliament to meet with the foreign relations subcommittee in the South African parliament. Sat with them for 90 minutes and spoke to them about our struggle. But like most former liberationists, 10 politicians, they forgot themselves. They forgot their way. The former Secretary General of the ANC was thinking that we will come and bribe him for him to make sure that the Southern Cameroons stuff can be on the agenda of the ANC platform. This is African, sir. The former Secretary General of the ANC. That was his expectation. Because through Pizzo, our team met the same Secretary General of the ANC. We did not go to South Africa to joke. We went to the Namibians. I reached out to the president of Namibia. Reached out to the minister who is also head of the party in Namibia. SWAPO. We went out to Lesotho, where my dear brother, the deputy prime minister, was panicking. He was scared. He was scared. We met at his luncheon, sat in his house, had a very good meeting with him. Taking risk by land for homeland and for ourselves. We'll not talk about the Gambia, why Yaya Jammeh was there. I went to the African Union, but I was having something to discuss with the then Speaker of the Gambian House of Parliament, which is a very small house. Almost there's a basketball, a volleyball and basketball court there. In the Gambia, where Yahya Jammeh was in power. In Nigeria itself, before I met former Ambassador Oluyemi, who was then the foreign minister, alongside John Alphonse as my PA. One of the directors said, Akwanga, this thing you are dying for, are you sure your people are even standing with you? And I told him, you see, I'm here in exile. If I need to go back home, I need to die for it. So whether the people stand with me or not, I need to keep doing what I'm doing. This is the foreign minister of Nigeria. It wasn't a governor or somebody I met somewhere in a beer parlor. Foreign minister. You can ask and check the year. It's written down in the books. Not to talk of the movement I did in Parliament with Anga George Table, who was there as a bodyguard. There are some other countries I don't want to call. I was in Kenya, the very place that my brother Nnamdi Kanu was picked from. Do you want to know what I did there? Or I should go further? For the name of this struggle. Because my belief is that if we do not get our people, our brothers and sisters in the continent, to have a buy-in into our struggle on why we must be free, on the necessity of freedom for us, so that there can be real peace in that part of the continent, then all what we are doing is a waste of time. We know how much South Africa frustrated things. Here in New York, I can't tell you people I met in New York. Most of the meetings in New York, I set them up. I took Ntum from Bo Herbert. I took Comrade Kometa Elvis. I even took Mola Sako. I set those meetings up. I did diplomacy. That is my field. I set them up, took them there. Because I can't do it alone. The moment a door is open, take a brother or sister that you think can work with you. You don't go in alone as if it's a founder you have just bought and you want the plant cassava for you to. No, brothers come. This is an opening. Let's go talk to these people. That is what you do. You should not be afraid of your brothers and sisters. Like there is something that if you take them there, they will take it away from you. Only those who are weak-hearted, who don't have anything to stand on, are scared. They are the ones who want to do some of these things in a funny way. At times, they don't even see the handwriting on the wall and they are deceived. We have done this and done even more. Most of you are aware that not too long ago, the United Nations invited us, myself, and Dr. Ayaba, to a training, a negotiation training, peace process training, in Oslo, in Norway. And that meeting took place at the Norwegian Defense School of Defense, where their military are being trained, in Norway, Oslo. I was there as the commander-in-chief of SOCADEF, and that is how everybody in the hall there knew me. I went there as the commander-in-chief of SOCADEF. It is the job of the UN, because when there is an armed conflict somewhere, in order to resolve that conflict, the UN speaks with everybody, both the state and non-state actors. So I was a non-state actor. And I will forever be grateful that we were brought in to sit there. Because of the recognition of what we're doing. I put on my camouflage in Norway. I walked with it on the streets and went for the training. I don't take pictures and do screenshots and put them somewhere that I'm commander-in-chief. No, I don't do that. Everybody who was there, the general that came from Sudan, the general from South Sudan, all of them, commander-in-chief of SOCADEF. That is who I am. That is why I went there to represent the people. It doesn't make me a terrorist. It doesn't take away from me that I'm a child of God. That I recognize Jesus Christ as my personal Lord and Savior. Even as sinful as I am. It doesn't take away my ability to pour libation to my foreparents. I was there. And for the first time, the government of Norway, for the first time, had a face-to-face meeting that has to do with Southern Cameroons, with myself and the representative of ADF. For the first time. I don't want to go into details. They told me that. They are in Norway. They have never had any meeting that with any Ambazonian or Southern Cameroonian that has to do with the struggle. For the first time, we had an official conversation. Because if you want to make peace in this world, whether you like it or not, you don't get Switzerland, you don't get Norway into it, it's not going to work. When the United States is doing something anywhere in the world, go and find out that has to do with peace somewhere. They will turn to one of these countries. Because they are everywhere. They can enter to go to any place. They are free to go to anywhere. Those are the things you find in this struggle. I didn't go to Iraq. I did diplomacy at Norwich University, the oldest military academy, private military academy here in the United States. And I'm proud of who I am. My alma mater, Norwich, invited me to spend 1 week there to speak to both the staff and the students, who are mostly cadets, on the situation of the Southern Cameroons and peace in Africa. You don't find it anywhere. Because we don't put those things out there. But that is what I did. That's why I did diplomacy. Dr. Jonathan Levy, who is a firebrand Southern Cameroonian and an ardent Pan-Africanist, though a white man, was my advisor on my dissertation. Because he was more vested on things concerning Africa. So my people, I can sit here for hours and talk to you people. But what is most important is that we must recognize that there is something we are doing which is not right. That is why we are still where we are. If we sit here and think that we are succeeding, we are winning, we are making a mistake. We have not been defeated. And only us will defeat ourselves. But we are not winning. No way. We are not winning. La Republic is not winning. The only thing that is winning is the suffering of our people. That is what is winning. It's the suffering of our people. That is what is winning. I've never changed. I've been the way I am. From primary school in Bacho-Akagbe, government school in Dongo, in Tiko, Kali school in Bacho-Akagbe, in Kali school in Munya, Balingwa Grammar School, Moliko, to government high school in Victoria. All of that, I've remained who I am. And people who move out there and think that they are radical, they are extremists, they are not. They think I've changed, I've become too soft, they don't know who I am. I'm just laughing at them. I'm laughing at them. Because I know the things I do. I know who I am. And those who are with me know who I am. And they still tell me, Chairman, you are still more radical than the way you used to. You are. I said, no, you have to see life. You must have the public persona. You must have the liberationist persona. You must have the persona of the Secretary General of the OES. You must know as a humanitarian how you approach and react with people. All in all, you must be human. Because if you are not human, you have no reason to fight for freedom. Killing our own, mostly unjustifiably, serves negatively to you involved and to the struggle. That is what it is. And anyone who abandoned this struggle, especially those of you in North America, who say, oh, the toxicity is too much and the rest, ask yourself what role you played. Some of you came to my house, sat here with me, ate with me. At that time, you wanted to join Maurice and the rest. But you knew who I was. You came to me, we sat as a family and talked. Where did you people end up? There are other Ambazonians I've had real meetings with them, and I will never divert anything in public when it comes to those things. And then when you give up, what do you think you are doing? You are giving up to yourself. You are giving up to yourself. Every man has one life. The day you were born and the day you look death in the face. It's one life. That is what I've told everybody. One life. One life. I used to tell my wife, I tell my kids, you see this world, when something happens, you people get angry, oh, daddy this, oh, that, and that. Let me ask you something. If I die today, is my wife, my son, my daughter, or grandkids, are they going to enter the grave with me? Have you seen somebody who goes closer to the grave? When somebody is dead, my brothers and sisters from Manyo are good because they do some assault and other things, are crying. How many people, even your mother is dead or your father, you will cry until, because when Manyo people cry somebody who is dead, even if you are as hardened as what, you will weep if you are there. How many of them have ever accepted to follow the corpse into the grave? Just try to act like you want to push one of them to the grave. Aye, the crying ends. The resistance, you will not even believe there will be more than supermarket to pull themselves away. So nobody is going to die like that for somebody. Nobody is going to do that. Nobody. I keep telling them, I have my life. I'm living it. I just try to be as decent as possible. But I can't run away from sin because I was born through that conception. So I can't live a life where I put people as personal enemies. Oh yes, I might not trust people. But enemies? No. Because even the people who persecuted me, I told Echo, face to face. I said, those who came to kill me in Nigeria 5 times were sent by you. But here I am sitting with you to make peace. Because this is how peace is achieved. I won't say because you sent people to kill me. No, you were doing your job. No matter how evil that job was, it was your job. That's the nature of your job. When you take a state, you need to protect that state. There are things you will do. These are things people should understand. So when we are in the struggle, you are trying to push the struggle forward, there are things you will have to do. My only problem is you don't do something without asking the impact of what you are doing, not just to yourself and your direct family, but to the entire struggle. Especially when the struggle is having a lot of individuals who are passing around to be at a leadership position. In liberation struggles, the leadership you create is not the normal leadership where you go and study in school to become a leader. If you are not born one, you can't make yourself one. No matter how hard you try. You can paint yourself and do anything, it will not work. I was in Norway. As I said to you people, I moved with my uniform. I changed the 2 colors of the uniform. I had my badge here, my Southern Cameroons flag. I go into the hall. And the good thing was, I was called up to give a lot of presentations. In my own team, everybody wants me to always speak. Everybody wanted me to speak. So some people were like, this man is a fighter, but he talks like a professor. I said, no, I am anything that you put me in. You want me to become a footballer? You ask people who know me, they will say, hey, doctor, why are you no longer a footballer today? I played football with Issa Pius. Though he was ahead of me, I played football with other people. Ekemendibe somewhere. So many people say, oh, doctor, why are you not a footballer? I said, no. You start something at a certain stage, you will find your path. When you finally get your path, that is where you are. I would have been a professional footballer. Or maybe a long distance runner. Or a 100-meter dash. Those were things I was doing in school. Long jump. I was extremely good. But this is my calling. And we each have callings. But nobody has callings, a calling that is evil. You just make yourself to do evil. Nobody. Nobody. I don't think that God will create you and make sure that he has created you. They say he created us out of his own image. Unless somebody else created you and then send you to this world to become that evil. No. No. God doesn't do that. God doesn't do that. And that is why we pour libation, we get it. We see all of these things. So we have to change course. I don't think I will come and sit here and tell you how we have to change course, my people. We have to change course. if we do not, this war of attrition will take as long as possible. We can bomb as many armor cars of La Republique. The Toyotas that they have mounted weapons on them. We can bomb them. We can destroy them. Okay? We can even take the pictures and videos and send online. My people, it is a war of attrition. During wars of attrition, these things happen. But that is not victory. That's not victory. When you see victory, you will know it. You will even touch it. You will smell it. You will feel it. You will know this is how victory is going to be achieved. It's there. You see it, you know it. You know it. When La Republique fed me with human feces and urine, when they sexually molested me, they put me on the balançoire. They did all what they did to me. The question they keep asking themselves is, how did he survive all of this? How did he survive? Why can't any of you say to yourself that if Ebenezer Akwanga could go through so much inhumane treatment, some of them that have not even spoken here, and survived, and even went to school and obtained a PhD after going through all of this. Therefore, the cause he is standing and fighting for is just. We should work with him and do it the way our forefathers and God want us to do. And we'll achieve our goal. How many of you have asked yourself that question? Or you think I'm Superman? That is why I'm here, I'm still alive. The vast majority of my other people are dead. I'm not Superman. I am not. I'm like you. I'm like you. There might be something extra from the way I was born. As my mom told me, may I so rest in perfect peace. Though I don't even allow her to rest, because when I pray every day, I'm calling her. I'm crying. Nothing is as good as being free. Freedom is the best thing in the world. Money can buy it. Wealth can buy it. Riches can buy it. Nothing can buy it. When you sacrifice and obtain your freedom, I can assure you that you would have achieved the greatest thing on earth. Mandela, as a human being, had so many flaws, which is normal with real leaders. David had it. Solomon had it. So I'm not worried about that. Mandela married how many times? How many children did he have? They were infighting for property and the rest. But the inner spirit of Mandela, to say I will talk to the other side, because my people have suffered enough. If we could take this thing, we could make it better for us. If we can't get it through this cup, we should get the cup through it. That is how you have to think. Think out of the box. Don't get angry that, oh, Dr. Akwanga knows this strategy. Why is he the one who knows it? Why is not the person that is my leader who knows it? You do that. It's a spirit of defeatism. With that spirit of defeatism, your libations will not go anywhere. Your prayers will not go anywhere. Don't say that, oh, this person knows this. Is this type of... No, it doesn't work, my people. It doesn't work. You thought Christ did not know that Judas Iscariot would sell him? But he still had him in his midst. He still allowed him to partake in the Last Supper. No, I'm a liberation theologist. When I go to the Bible, I don't interpret it the way people want to do it to satisfy them. I explain it exactly as it is. This is to tell us humans that no matter what we do, we will always find people among us who will betray us. But they will always regret later on. You will find people who will not even stand with you. The SCYL leadership showed me that. The moment I fell, almost all of them, almost all, though not all. I think only Ayabacho Lucas was standing. Almost all of them turned against me. Oh, it's good that they have caught him. He thought that this Ambazonian thing, he carried it and put on his forehead. If I did not put it on my forehead, could we have been where we are today? could we have been here? With all the things that Samuel Kontang Elad was doing, with all the things that Henry Fosson was doing, with all the stuff that people were afraid to do, they were all scared. Nobody wanted to do this or do that. Chief Ayamba, even my own father, or I call my godfather, the late Dr. Arnold Boyomba, all of these people, Ambassador Martin Ekoge Epie, all of these people, would we have been where we are today? Pa Christopher Atang knows. I have his book here, right here with me. At my age, was I mad doing those things? I don't think a madman will come and go and achieve a doctorate degree or received and welcome elsewhere. We've turned against our people. We go online, we don't do the right thing. You try to do something that pacifies you, they say, oh, why are you not doing this without asking? The worst thing is to accuse somebody, especially in public, without knowing what the person is doing. Someone attacked Barrister Chief Fuacheleke Charles Taku the other day. And I went behind, I said, don't do this. You don't know this man. The sacrifice that Taku Charles has put in this struggle before we are where we are today. The only person that you can count a bit that did similar to that is the late Batebison. It's the late Batebison. And we should not develop the attitude that if we have a brother who is at the UN, instead of us making use of that brother, we go attacking them and start calling them traitors, and we don't work like that. You don't open doors through that. And they don't need to open these doors to stand in front of those doors. They open these doors for you, the liberationist, to go through it and do your job. That is what you do. That is what you do. I gave everything. They said I would fail advanced level, I did not. I gave everything. They said I would die, I did not. I gave everything. They came to Nigeria 5 times, I did not die. Until it was the DSS that was protecting me and everybody was with me. I was even going back to the hospital. I know many Nigerians don't like DSS. But what do you want me to do? They saved my life. I was protected by the government of Matthew Olusegun Obasanjo's government. And I'm grateful for that. I told the daughter when we were invited at Voice of America, when I met with the daughter, the two of us were being interviewed. I told her, listen, what your father did, I will always be grateful to him. That is the other man who have openly gone after Biya and La République. Obasanjo. That's the only man. But you see, the only former military ruler or civilian ruler in Nigeria? Is it only Obasanjo and Rawlings who are in Africa? Why are the rest so scared? They have not even given them a tangana bread or anything. Why are they scared to talk? I'm not asking them to give us arms. I'm not asking them to go fight for us. I am asking them to do what morality demands. Take the rostrum and speak from the pulpit against the evilness that is being done to our people. That is all I'm asking. That is what I've asked Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to do. She would have even known better because she's coming from Liberia, a war-torn country. Has she been able? Has she been able? Then we are the first to turn against the Europeans who even come back to turn. Look, there are people in this country. There are white men and white women in this country that I can tell you that I can go to bed sleeping that I'll be prepared to die with them. Even as I fight for freedom, there are some of my people that I can't sleep with them in the same room and close my 2 eyes. I can't. Because we are easily carried away. We are so cheap. And people who are so cheap makes it so easy to think that, oh, when you're going to have a meeting with these people, it means you have done this, you have done that. No. I have said that a war of attrition can take 75 to 100 years. Mark my words. Remember that even though the guns are technically silent in Colombia, the peace process in Colombia is still ongoing. I was there with members of FARC and the Colombian team there in Norway when we were invited. The importance of the Norwegian meeting was that we met people who were involved in other liberation struggles, met people who are experts in these things, met them from different fields. We met them. It was jointly the Norwegian and the Swiss government. In the defense ministry, we were eating with people in active service. And I have to represent Sokadev and the people of Ambazonia proudly. So when you take a coat to wear it properly. Don't be shy. Don't be scared of it. I'm sure even my brothers of the ADF were like, hey, chairman, they were looking at me and say, ah. I said, no. I was invited by Sokadev. So before I even wear a normal civilian wear here, the opening day, they should know who I am. I'm a fighter, not a politician. So I put on my camouflage. The day we are closing, for me to take the certificate, I have to put on my camouflage. They need to know who I am representing because I'm proud of it. So let's try and change course. Let's find a means to meet behind. If you are serious, you are in Boston, you are serious, you are in California, you are serious, you are in Texas, you are serious, you don't need to call me on the phone and start discussing certain things. You want to free people? You have the means, and you think we are putting everything on the line? Fly over or drive over, come, let's sit and talk. And I will tell you the things we are not doing that if we have started doing them, then we will be at the top front before they talk even about Ukraine. But I equally warn you people that every struggle has its own time span. Okay? One struggle can dominate the other. Ukraine is lucky because it's Russia. If Ukraine was actually with another country, nobody would talk about it. Do you think those are the only conflicts in the world? Do you know what is happening in Sudan? The Sudan. Do you know what is happening in the Sudan? Are you hearing about it? No. It's Gaza. It's Hamas. It's IDF. It's insults. Anti-Semitism. Oh, anti-Holocaust and all whatnot. You don't hear. People are dying in the Sudan. Khartoum is ravished. It's still ongoing. Do you know even the one that started in Darfur, how many years today? Darfur. It's not over. My people. I can go on and on and on. I'm just giving you this one in our beloved continent. In our beloved continent. Look at the DRC. Do you know what is going on in the Eastern Congo? As I talk to you. Here now. Do you know? So if we don't want to better things and change our way, how do we think we're going to be at the forefront? Who will think about us? Who? Have we been able to fly one plane as you see in Sudan? Using planes to bomb one area to the other? We don't have. Rwanda, they should talk about us. BBC and the rest should come. No. Nobody cares. You are some black people, you want to butcher yourself. And that is the advantage La Republic has taken. Because we don't want to do what is needed. I want this carnage to end. Not just for my people, even for the people of La République du Cameroon. I want it to end. But it is not going to end the way it started. That will move from pathetic slavery to worsened slavery. That will never happen. I want it to end. By wanting it to end doesn't stop us from fighting for what we know is just, is ours. I belong to Big C. I've seen some of my Big C brothers who have appeared here and sisters. Big C, Bilingual Grammar School, ex-student association. We have that particular class group that we are. In that particular group, I have my brothers and sisters who are from La République du Cameroon, who are citizens in this, our particular group. I don't have problems with them. They are not my enemies. The only thing I don't do inside Big C is I don't speak. I know who I am and I know my position. I almost don't communicate or participate in anything. I read whatever they said, everything that is said, but I don't make a single statement. Because I know who I am and what I carry. If I want to talk to one of them, I'll talk to them behind the scene. I have my cousin inside Big C, my own cousin, who have lived with me in my house here. And because of the struggle and the twist the struggle has taken, my cousin doesn't communicate with me. He has lived with me in my house in America. He doesn't even check on me and ask, how are the children? How is the family? My cousin. I don't throw this anyhow. My blood cousin from my mother's side. I have him there in Big C. It's to tell you who our people are. That's who they are. Fear. Because of the position he's handling. As if the position stops him to check the brother. To say, bro, how are you doing? How are things happening? No. Fear. Harley Chase was right. Fear is the key that unlocks the wallets and handbags of the rich. But in our case, fear is the key that keys the conscience, the heart, and the minds of our people. Fear. Fear is the key that reduces them to something less than normal. Fear is the thing that takes away the ability to be moral. Fear is what changes them from human being to humanless. Fear. Fear. And no one who has ever been afraid has ever achieved freedom. Not even Kunta Kinte. No one. We bask in the glory of the freedoms we have achieved. We go to some of these places, we enjoy it. Do you think you need to be like me to be involved in the struggle? No. You just need to play your own role. And that role should be positive, not negative. You must not be like Akwanga. You must not be like any other person who is out there. Just be you. Oneness of humanity. Oneness. We don't understand the suffering our people are going through. The fighters on the ground are being killed every day. Strategies have not been changed because of the attitude of others. How can we live in a land with so much wealth, yet for 6-7 years, we do not control a single piece of land where the wealth is? A single piece of land. So much wealth. And with the strength and the might of the enemy, they have not been able to subdue us. Yet, we have decided on our own that we will not do what will free us. Yet we want freedom. How is that possible? Is anyone thinking that if this war is over today, La Republic is going to tar the road to Mondemba, build a multipurpose bridge, open the forest in Bonge and all of those areas? Are people dreaming that is going to happen? Or there will be an airport at Funkankan? Is that what you are thinking? Is anyone dreaming that the state of Manfe town as it was before the 60s, in the 50s, 40s and 50s, and it's almost the same today, is going to change tomorrow if we drop down our arms? Is that what you're thinking? Is anyone thinking that a people who really love us, the best they could do is to come and open more military posts in our area? That is what will bring freedom. Are we thinking straight? Are we okay? These people, Chantal, Bia, and Gongo, they have heard the old man who wears napkin. I'm not insulting him for his age. I'm insulting him that he's an old man who needed wisdom, but lacked it, to use it to handle the people. It's not ending anytime soon. So do you want a 75 and 80-year-old war of attrition, where technically it means, war of attrition means there's no peace. There's no security. It means there's constant instability. That is what they call war of attrition. That is what happens during war of attrition. Is that what people are looking for? Is that what you're looking for? You have businesses in Douala, Victoria, Boya. You want a position where there's no peace? That for you to leave and come to Kumba, you are afraid that your car that you are driving or the public car can be attacked at any time. Is that what we want? Or to go to Bamenda, you need to pass again through La Republic. Or when you use the Bamenda Manfe Road, you are not sure of safety? That our people need a life where you can no longer open your doors as we normally do, where people used to leave their doors in the village to go and sleep at night when it is too hot. Can you do that now? Is that the type of war we want? Where we are in a situation where our pastors are so scared to speak the gospel from the pulpit because they might disappear or picked up or arrested or killed. Is that the type of situation we want? A country where when the bishop starts talking about Southern Cameroons, John Gute calls that bishop, buys a car for the bishop, and the bishop changes the voice. He starts saying something else. I'm not calling names. They know themselves. Is that the type of country we want? Or you think that because we're in the West, we just need to deliver our children, have 5 kids, grandkids, and the rest? The world ends there. That is everything. That is the world. Everything's okay. What is the legacy you want to leave? Houses? Cars? Bank accounts? Suits? All these things vanishes in a twinkle of an eye. This wristwatch, now that I wear it, is just here with me. But I still don't own it. You know why? If I fall here that I'm taken to the hospital and there's somebody in this house who likes this wristwatch, I will not even know who is wearing it. Because I will not even have the energy to ask for my wristwatch. The food you eat, that gives you energy, that works on your blood and the rest, is the only thing you have. The money in your pocket is not owned by you until you use it to buy something that you consume. But as long as it's in your pocket and your bank account, it's not your money. You don't own it. You might agree with me or not, you don't own it. You see your car? The time you own that car is when you are driving it, you put fuel, you drive it. The moment you park the car, you don't own it. Because I can assure you, just have a type of headache where you are rolling on the ground. You not think about cars. Others will be thinking on whether it's an ambulance or that car or another car to carry you to the hospital. When they are not even sure they will reach there with you. The only thing you own is your attitude towards fellow man. How you represent yourself. That is what they will use to remember you forever. I am saying this and I'm saying it with all honesty. You will be remembered for how you treat your fellow man. Even in your imperfection, your treatment for your fellow man is the way you will be remembered. He's alive, the Christians will say. And in a couple of days, the Muslims will be celebrating Ramadan. Whether you are a Muslim or you are a Christian, whether you are a Shiite Muslim or you are a Pentecostal Christian, whether you are an Orthodox Christian or you are a Sunni Muslim, you go to Ghana, even they have different sects. Whatever you think you are, whether you are a traditionalist, the one who can invoke our forefathers, pour libation to them, turn to them for help. Our purpose here on earth is to fit the spirit we cannot touch, we cannot hold. What will represent us when this body, this one, all this, would have returned to Mother Earth. And the only way you fit that spirit is to be truthful to yourself, to be just, but to show love. Without love, Che Guevara will not fight for freedom. It will not mean anything to him. Without love, Thomas Sankara would not have done the things he did for his people. Knowing fully well that Blaise, his friend, was plotting to kill him. He said, if it is Blaise, let it be so. Without love, Patrice Aurélien Lumumba wouldn't have allowed himself to be killed and dissolved in acid. He had an easy pass. He rejected it. Without love, Mansa Musa wouldn't have fought the wars he fought. Kunta Kinte wouldn't have started that liberation. Without love, with all the plots, the FBI machinations and the rest, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. wouldn't have gone that step. It is love. It is love that makes a man to try to do something to help others. Because today people use shortcuts of love. They say philanthropy. They say this. No, it's love. It's love. That is the key. And without love, you have nothing to do with this struggle. If you don't love the people and you are prepared to do what will save them, if you don't love the people and you are prepared to make sure that they have a more better life than the one you had, if you don't love the people and understand that we are all one, we are all one. And that oneness doesn't mean the other man should maltreat the other. We have just said, listen, we are different from you in certain characters. That does not make us different from you as human beings. So let us be in a position to run our lives. And then you are in a position to run your life. That will not stop me from going to Nchang, going to Bafusam, going to Mbuda. That will not stop me from going to Fumba or Fumbam. That will not stop me from going to Ngandere. It will not stop me from going to Eboloa or somewhere else. If I think I can cross to La Republique to go get married. Just as it will not stop me from going to Enugu, to going to Ewi, Lagos, Ibadan. It will not stop me from going to Monrovia. It will not stop me from going to Lome. It will not stop me from going to any other country, any other capital or city. If I go there, settle there, and feel at home to get married there. But you must first have that comfortability that you are free. That you are not enchained by your other brother or sister. That you are free. We are one. The oneness of mankind. Because people should not mistake the idea that, oh, since because we are one, then why are we fighting? No. If I was me doing my things that satisfy me without hurting you, if I was not me, where you've captured me and you are maltreating me, you're taking everything away from me, and yet you don't even consider me as fully human. I am either 3/4, 2/3, or 1/5 human to you. I will not be where I am. I have no reason to sit there and be complaining. It's taking a lot of energy from me. Or I've just sit, spend my time and wait for my own time to come and let me go. No. It doesn't work that way. It is love that made Alexei Navalny to sacrifice his life. He knew what was coming. Left Russia, but still went back. And see how he died. It is love. Love for his people. So if greed is your goal, if power is your campaign, if chaos is your mantra, you have no room in this struggle. You have no room. How can we be in a struggle against a people who themselves are also suffering so badly? The people in La Republique who are suffering have never sat and said, hey, why can't we use one stone to kill two birds or use something? Let's find a way to see what to do. No, it's because the vast majority benefits from our suffering. We're not attacking the civilians, but they benefit from the suffering we are going through. That is the technicality of it. Because unconsciously, it's like a white child who have an advantage over a black child in America. The white child did not ask for it. But the system has been created in such a way that it favors the white child. The white child might not even recognize that these are the benefits because of the color of their skin. It's the same thing we find back there in La Republique du Cameroon or the Cameroons, where citizens of La Republique are having benefits that they did not ask for. The system has created it for them because they see us as 3/4 humans, as not human enough. We are not even citizens. So they don't see it. They don't understand our reality. Doesn't mean they cannot think, they cannot feel for us. They are. But because they're benefiting from the system, it is blocking their ability to understand what we are going through. And some of them have technically refused to understand because they will be ashamed. That is why some of them fight with us on the streets. They quarrel with us. They argue that one thing, because they are benefiting from it. Scholarship scheme is for them. You go to the QS, the school of doctor and stuff, no matter how good you were in physics, biology, chemistry, no, you won't succeed there. It's for them. You go to the school of magistracy, it's them. So they benefit. They are not compared to learn English, to do stuff in English. We are compared to go through that because we are the lesser man or the lesser man. That is who we are. They don't feel it. Like as I said, the vast majority of them don't understand it. They don't understand that the punishment, the ill treatment that we are receiving is benefiting them in one way or the other. They don't see it, even from a personal level. Then I apply for a contract. I'm from Ambazonia. Somebody who is Bassa apply for a contract, a Ton or Bamleki or a Wondo or Bulu, or from the eastern province or region or whatever they call, or from the north. When they just see it, they see the name. I'm already disqualified. They might even go further to deceive me to bring money to give them for bribe, which they know they've already given it to somebody else with a name they can recognize. You get me? They can recognize Jean-Pierre, Marie-José. How many of them are going to recognize Ndikum, Eta, Mbongo? No. They recognize it only if they know they can use Ndikum, Eta, and Mbongo to their own benefit to further maltreat the Ndikum, Etas, and the Mbongos. That is how they operate. That is the psychology. The psychology of ill treatment. The psychology of slavery. The psychology of depersonalization. The psychology of dehumanization. That is what it is. That is what it is. So, go to bed. But ask yourself, what is there that you as an individual have not yet done in this struggle? What have you not yet done that you need to do to make sure that we make it move faster? People should not say, oh, because these people took this so many years, No, that is the advantages we have that we are not using. We have so many. I spoke to somebody 2 days ago here in my house, and the person was looking at me and said, doctor, what are you saying? I said, yes. You can't do this for 2 weeks without changing the course of this struggle. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Not just bombing those armor cars around the road. No, 2 weeks. This struggle will take a different dimension. You will hear it all over the place. Those of you who like talking, you like showmanism, BBC will even come to interview you with others. But at this level, it's war of attrition, 75, 100 years. It's not going to end. Which means insecurity becomes permanent. And that insecurity, you might not know where it is coming from. There are bandits around there. There are other teams created by the enemy that are put in our camp. There are survivalists down there who are all being confounded to be liberationists. And then there are the gangsters, the goons from La République themselves who are trained for 2 weeks, given a uniform and guns to come kill us. In this modern era, we will hold ourselves to be blamed if we don't do what is necessary to change the tide of this war. Remove it from a war of attrition to one in which we become the center of discussion, where the next time the enemy sits and think, they will not know whether the next knockout will be inside their own bedroom. That should be the mindset. And that is the way we should think. So my people, I would like to leave you. I've been here for long. Thank you for watching. Share the video. Listen to the issues that are more pertinent. If there is anything there that you get a little bit confused, don't worry yourself much about it. Stay focused. Take everything you think is important, share it, discuss with others. Don't quarrel, don't argue, don't fight, don't insult. Smile. Just as I said, that the cause of our people is this. Smiling through hardship. That is who we are. We have been smiling through hardship for a very long time. Henceforth, we must resist being what is written here. Heads without hearts. Because any people who have heads without hearts are incapable of freeing themselves from bondage. Any people who have heads without hearts are undeserving of freedom. Any people who have heads without hearts will be responsible for their own hardship and suffering. We must change the course and move forward. If some of us are still here at this hour, upon all the chaos and madness that has gone out, the plotting, the semi-plotting and the rest, it is because we need to finish what we started. We must do it honorably and do what is needed than doing what we give the semblance as if we are doing something. When we do what is needed, I can assure you that in 2 weeks' time, 2 weeks alone, the message will change. It will change. Both from the international community and from those who think we are just 3 feet humans. May the blessings of our forefathers be with each one of you. May the grace, the love, and the blessings of God be with each one of you. Believe in what you believe. But never forget that we are part of the oneness of humanity. And when they wrote that word, mankind, it is man and kind. With the way the world is now, we don't know what we need to replace with that word kind, man and kind. Man wicked, man evil. We don't know which word will really go with it. But to be our neighbor's keeper, we must live up to the spirit and the meaning of the word mankind. Thank you very much.